Most people think power is about being louder, richer, more charming. They think the secret to influence is found in talking fast, dressing sharp, or being liked by everyone. But that's a lie. The truth is, the most powerful people don't chase anyone. They don't beg for respect. They create a presence so strong, people shift their energy just to match them. They don't compete, they attract. And they don't just attract people. They bend situations, rooms, even enemies, in their favor. This video will show you how. We're not talking about surface-level confidence. We're talking about deep, psychological seduction, the kind that makes you impossible to ignore. Inspired by the mindset of Niccolò Machiavelli, we'll break down how to project dominance without saying a word, build magnetic confidence that pulls people in, use silence, perception, and mystery as weapons. Make people want your approval without even realizing it, and become a person who's so mentally strong others feel weak around you. You don't need more noise. You need more control. By the end of this video, you won't be chasing attention. You'll be the one they watch. You'll be the one they follow. You'll become the one they fear to disappoint. If you're ready to become someone they can't ignore, someone who doesn't speak to prove but radiates silent power, subscribe right now. Like this video and comment below. Power speaks without words. Let's see who's really ready to evolve. 1. The dangerous type. No one can resist. Most people try too hard. They chase attention. They beg to be liked. They think if they talk more, do more, show more, they'll be respected. But it never works. Because the moment you start chasing, you lose value. Now imagine someone who never chases. Someone who doesn't speak to impress, yet people lean in when they talk. Someone who walks into a room and doesn't need to prove anything, because the room adjusts to them. That's power. Niccolò Machiavelli didn't just write about kings and politics. He studied how influence works in real life, quietly, psychologically. He knew that seduction isn't just for romance. It's about making yourself impossible to ignore, in business, in social circles, in war. True confidence doesn't come from fake smiles or loud words. It's not about showing off. It's about being so calm, so centered, so sure of yourself, that people question their own worth when they stand next to you. If you learn to master this, you won't need to convince anyone. They'll follow you, not because they understand you, but because they can't resist the pull. This is the first step to becoming dangerous without being loud. This is the art of becoming untouchable, the Machiavellian way. If you're ready to become the type of person who doesn't chase, who draws others in without trying, then hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you feel this power, and drop a comment. I don't chase, I attract. Let's see who's ready. 2. Stop chasing. Start drawing them in. You've been taught to chase. In school, in relationships, even in business. You were told to prove yourself, to speak up, to show you're valuable, to go after what you want loudly. But here's the brutal truth. The more you chase, the more you weaken your position. People don't respect what's available. They want what pulls away, what doesn't need them. Machiavelli understood something most people miss. The strongest force is not pursuit, it's presence. Real power is when you make people come to you, not because you begged, but because your energy, your focus, your calm creates gravity. To do this, you must break an old habit. Stop filling silence with words. Stop explaining yourself. Stop trying to fix how others see you. Instead, observe. Stay still. Speak with purpose, and rarely, when you stop chasing, you shift the frame. Now they wonder what you're thinking. Now they try to earn your time. Now they adjust to you. That's when you become the one with control, the one they think about when you leave, the one they try to impress without knowing why. If this shifted something in you, good. You're not here to entertain, you're here to command. Comment, I draw power in silence. And if this hit deep, share the video with someone who needs to stop chasing. 3. Control how they see you, even without saying a word. Let's talk about perception, because in the real world, how people see you is more powerful than who you really are. People don't respond to your intentions. They respond to the image you project. And here's the harsh truth. If your energy says, I need approval, they feel it. If your words try too hard to impress, they'll sense it. If you chase connection, they'll pull away. But if you move like you're already valuable, like you don't need them to see your worth, they start seeing it anyway. That's how perception works. You train people how to treat you based on what you tolerate, how you carry yourself, and what you give your energy to. If you laugh too easily, explain too much, or overshare your emotions, you lower your value in their eyes. But if you stay grounded, if you speak less, observe more, if you hold eye contact without trying to win their approval, suddenly the dynamic flips. They get curious. They start watching you more carefully. They try harder to be seen by you. This is what Machiavelli mastered, not with charm, but with control. He knew that if you build the right perception, you don't need to beg for power. People hand it to you. They trust you. They fear disappointing you. And they think it was their idea. The goal isn't to fake confidence. It's to build the kind of presence where others feel your value, even when you say nothing. That's the new standard. That's the silent art of seduction. That's what makes you untouchable. If this message just hit something deep inside you, prove it. Comment, I control how they see me. And if you're ready to master the art of quiet power, subscribe now. This journey is just getting started. 4. Mystery, the unspoken power that hooks them. Most people overshare. They talk about their pain, their past, their opinions, thinking it makes them closer to others. But in reality, it makes them predictable. Predictability is the enemy of power. What people can fully understand, they stop respecting. What they can't fully read, they obsess over. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that the more mystery you carry, the more space you take up in their mind. Because mystery isn't about being fake, it's about being selective. The powerful don't reveal everything. They don't explain every emotion. They don't tell you what they'll do next. They speak with intention. They move with control. They let others guess, and in that guessing, people become hooked. Mystery builds tension. It creates emotional imbalance. It keeps people chasing answers, approval, and access. And that's where your power grows. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be cold. You just need to stop giving all of yourself away for free. Give them your presence, but not your full mind. Give them attention, but not constant availability. Give them connection, but hold back just enough to make them wonder. When people start thinking about you when you're not around, when they replay your words, your glance, your silence, that's when you've taken root in their psychology. The goal is not to be liked by everyone. It's to be unforgettable to the right ones, because you stayed just out of reach. If you're done being predictable and ready to become the mystery they can't stop thinking about, comment, I don't reveal, I attract. And like this video if you've ever felt the shift when you pulled back and their interest grew. 5. Emotional control, the power that silences everyone. Most people are easy to manipulate. Why? Because they react. Say the right thing and they explode. Ignore them and they beg. Push their buttons and they fall apart. But the person who can stay calm under pressure, that's the one everyone fears. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this deeply. In every room, he looked for one thing: who controls their emotions? because that's the one in control of the outcome. See, emotions are signals. They expose what matters to you. They show your weakness, your attachments, your wounds. And once someone knows what gets a rise out of you, they can puppet you. That's why emotional control is the real dominance. When you stay calm in chaos, people lose their power over you. They try to provoke you, and you don't flinch. They expect drama, and you give silence. They want your reaction, but you give them a mirror instead. This is psychological warfare, because when people can't read your emotions, they get nervous. They question themselves. They overthink every word they said. They try harder to win you, to get a response, to feel seen. You flip the dynamic. You're not reacting to their chaos. They're reacting to your stillness. Remember, calmness isn't weakness. It's strategy. It means you've mastered the battlefield of the mind. And once your mind is untouchable, no one can use it against you. If you've ever stayed calm while someone else crumbled, you already know your power. Comment below, I control my reactions. And if this message hit deep, share it with someone who needs to stop giving their power away. 6. The power of holding back. People think power is about doing more. More messages, more compliments, more effort. But in reality, it's the opposite. Power comes from holding back. When you give too much of your energy too quickly, people stop valuing it. They take it for granted. They expect more and appreciate less. Machiavelli understood that power grows in scarcity. When something is rare, it becomes desired. When something is always available, it becomes ignored. This applies to your presence, your time, your attention. Most people give too much. They over-explain. They overgive. They stay too long in conversations they should have left. But when you start withholding your energy intentionally, everything changes. You stop replying instantly. You stop explaining your silence. You stop entertaining people who drain you. Instead, you become the person they think about when you're not there. Your absence starts speaking louder than your presence ever did. People feel it. They notice when your energy is no longer aimed at them. And that shift creates tension, curiosity, and often regret. They wonder why you pulled back. They replay old conversations. They feel the gap. And in that space, they realize your value. You didn't beg. You didn't argue. You just took your energy away and let that silence speak. That's how kings move. That's how powerful people stay wanted, by not always being reachable. If you've ever pulled back and watched someone finally wake up to your worth, comment, I move with intention. And if you're learning how to control your energy like a weapon, subscribe. The next move is even colder. 7. How to command a room without saying a word. There's a kind of person who walks into a room and everything shifts. People turn. They feel something. They don't know why, but suddenly they're alert, focused, aware. That's called presence. It's not about being loud. It's not about being the most attractive or the richest or the most social. It's about the energy you bring before you even speak. Machiavelli knew that true power doesn't need to announce itself. It arrives quietly, but changes the atmosphere. How do you build that kind of presence? First, stillness. Don't fidget, don't rush, don't seek attention. People who are truly powerful don't need to fill the air with noise. Their silence is loud enough. Second, eye contact. Hold it, not aggressively but calmly. You don't look around like you're unsure. You observe like you already own the room. Third, posture and pace. Stand tall. Move slow. Breathe deep. Act like you belong everywhere, and people will start believing you do. Presence is felt. And when yours is strong, people adjust around you without knowing it. They lower their voices. They check their posture. They try to impress you without even realizing why. You don't have to talk much. You don't have to dominate. You just have to carry yourself like someone who doesn't need approval because you've already given it to yourself. And in a world full of noise, that calm confidence becomes magnetic. If you've ever walked into a room and made it quieter, without even trying, comment, "My presence speaks first." And if you're ready to sharpen this power even more, hit that subscribe. The next level is darker and smarter. 8. Detachment, the coldest way to break control. When someone tries to control you, they don't do it with chains. They do it with emotions. Guilt, approval, silence, praise. They give you just enough to keep you hooked. But here's what breaks that cycle: detachment. Detachment isn't about not caring. It's about caring on your terms, not theirs. It's the ability to walk away at any moment without fear or emotional collapse. And that, to most people, is terrifying. See, control only works when you're afraid of losing something. When you're scared they'll leave. When you need their validation to feel whole. But when you shift into detachment, the game flips. Suddenly they feel the fear. They feel the gap. They feel your absence. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that true power wasn't in clinging. It was in letting go first. When someone starts playing emotional games, don't argue. Don't chase. Just pull back. Silently. Calmly. Completely. Don't announce it. Don't explain it. Just let them feel it. That silence, it haunts. That calm withdrawal, it creates obsession. Because now they're the one trying to figure it out. They replay everything. They wonder why you're not reacting. And they realize, maybe for the first time, that they never had power over you at all. Detachment doesn't destroy relationships. It destroys manipulation. And in that space, you rise above the noise. You stop being the one who reacts. You become the one they chase. If you've ever gone silent and watched the power flip, drop a comment. I don't cling, I detach. And if this part woke something up in you, share the video with someone playing power games. They'll feel it. 9. Influence without force. The art of subtle control. Powerful people rarely give orders. They don't yell. They don't beg. They don't say, do this. Instead, they plant ideas and make you believe they're yours. This is the highest form of influence. And it's how Machiavelli moved through the world, not by demanding obedience, but by shaping perception. Here's the secret. People hate being controlled, but they love feeling clever. So when you push, they resist. But when you guide, suggest, and frame it as their own choice, they follow. This is how you do it. Instead of, you should do this, say, what would happen if you tried it this way? Instead of, you're wrong, say, I used to think that too, but then I saw this. Instead of giving answers, ask better questions, ones that lead their mind. You're not commanding. You're directing thought like a chess master, 5 moves ahead. You create a frame so strong they adjust to it without knowing. You become the calm voice in their head. You infect the way they see the world. And one day, they act on your idea, convinced it was their own. That's not manipulation. That's mastery. Because control without resistance is the highest form of dominance. And when you stop trying to force people and start shaping what they believe, you don't just win arguments, you win minds. If you've ever led someone without saying, follow me, drop a comment, I lead with suggestion. And if you're ready to master invisible control, subscribe now. The final move is the one they'll never see coming. 10. Disappear strategically, the final move that leaves a mark forever. There's one move more powerful than presence. One move that leaves them thinking, questioning, and haunted. Disappearance. Not emotional breakdown, not ghosting in weakness, but a calm, strategic exit when they expect you the most. Because here's the truth. People remember your silence longer than your words. They feel your absence deeper than your attention. And when you walk away with dignity, not drama, you carve a permanent space in their mind. Machiavelli didn't believe in desperate goodbyes. He believed in vanishing at the peak of power, when your value is highest, when your presence is missed the most. That's when you leave, and you don't explain it. You don't justify it. You let them sit with what they lost. The ones who underestimated you feel regret. The ones who tried to control you feel exposed. The ones who needed your energy to feel alive now feel the cold. You've taken the one thing they can't get back, your access. Disappearing isn't about being petty. It's about ending the game on your terms. Because power isn't always in the move you make. It's in the move you don't return for. Sometimes, the final lesson isn't taught through words. It's taught by absence, by space, by silence that echoes. That's the last move of a Machiavellian mind. Not rage, not revenge, just disappearance, with your power untouched and your mystery fully intact. If you've ever walked away and felt stronger for it, comment, "My silence is final." And if this entire journey opened your eyes to who you could become, subscribe now. Because this isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new version of you. One that no longer chases but controls.